Hey guys, welcome back to Hockey Hub. Today we'll talk about the most clutch hockey finishes ever. Let's head into it. Number 8, Sergei Fedorov. Former Russian center Sergei Fedorov is currently tied for 14th place with regular season game winners of 93, as his 483 career goals earned a pair of points for his team. Fedorov also ranks 4th all-time in regular season overtime goals, with 15 of them, and managed to finish his career with 36 short-handed markers. He helped Detroit win 3 Stanley Cups during his time in the Motor City and pulled his weight by chipping in with another 12-game winners in the playoffs. Fedorov enjoyed 5 seasons in the top 10 for regular session game-winning goals. 23% of his 52 playoff goals were game winners, while 19.3% of his regular season goals won the game for his team. This was definitely a guy who came in through the clutch time after time. Number 7, Alexander Ovechkin. Another active NHLer on this list is the great Russian sniper Alexander Ovechkin of the Washington Capitals. His 100-game winners rank him 9th of all time, and he's steadily gaining ground on those above him. When it comes to regular season overtime winners, this 32-year-old is already the best ever with 22 of them. Like Patrick Marleau, Ovechkin hasn't been able to hoist the Stanley Cup as of yet, but he's chipped in with half a dozen game winners in the playoffs. This 6-time Rocket Richard Trophy winner has placed in the top 10 for game-winning goals a total of 6 times in his career and led the lead in the clutch scoring category 3 times. These were in 2007 to 2008, 2010 to 2011, and 2014 to 2015 when 11 of his goals won games for the Capitals. Number 6, Joe Sakic.
Like I said, we're going to score a lot of goals and we're going to have an exciting hockey team and hopefully challenge for the Stanley Cup.
Joe Sudden Death Sakic leads the way when it comes to overtime goals in the playoffs with an all-time high of 8. He's also tied with Claude Lemieux for the most game winners in playoff history at 19, with Wayne Gretzky and Brett Hull being the only players above them. Of his 84 playoff goals, 22.3% of them were game winners, and 42% of those came in overtime, so it's no wonder he won a pair of Stanley Cups with Colorado. Sakic also added the 86 game winners and 7 overtime goals in regular season play, along with 13 tied gaming goals and 32 shorthanded markers. He led the game in league winners 2000 to 2001 with 12 of them and was top 10 in the category in 5 seasons. Number 5, Maurice Richard. Let's go back a few decades to the pre-overtime regular season era in the NHL. One of the league's clutch and top scorers back then was the fiery Rocket Richard and Montreal Canadiens. Richard still ranks 5th all-time in-game winning goals in the playoffs with 18, and 6 of them being scored in overtime. His quickest overtime winner came just after 71 seconds, and his longest came in the 4th overtime period after 61 minutes. His clutch playoff heroics helped the Montreal Canadiens win 8 Stanley Cups during his days at the Old Forum. This means 22% of the Rockets' 82 playoff tallies were game winners. When it came to the regular season, Richard also had a knack for scoring big goals, as 84 of his 544 career markers clinched the game for the Habs. Number 4, Wayne Gretzky.
And a rhetorical question: if you wanted to get somebody in the NHL to demonstrate the art of puck handling, who would that be? Here's Wayne Gretzky.
You probably knew that NHL's all-time leading scorer would have to be on this list somewhere, and here he is. Wayne Gretzky drilled in 91 game-winning goals during the regular season play, scored another dozen that tied with the game, and ranks 1st overall with 73 shorthanded markers, leading the lead 6 times while his team was a man short. Gretzky was in the top 10 for game-winning goals on 4 occasions, and led the league with 12 of them in 1981 to 1982. It was in the playoffs where the Great One really shone through, as he is tied with Brett Hull for 1st place overall, with 24 game winners and 4 of them coming in overtime. He also added another dozen shorthanded goals in the postseason to help him hoist the Stanley Cup 4 times during his career. Number 3, Jaromir Jagr. When it comes to game-winning goals, the league's all-time leader is the 46-year-old Jaromir Jagr, whose NHL career is in limbo right now. Jagr won the game for his teams 135 times in regular season play, which is 14 more than runner-up Gordie Howe. He's also right up there when it comes to overtime goals, as he's currently 2nd all-time with 19 of them under his belt. The most famous mullet in NHL history didn't dry up when the playoffs rolled just around either, as 8 players have scored more than his 16 postseason winners. In addition to the 2-time Stanley Cup winner is tied for 4th all-time with 4 overtime tallies in the playoffs. Along with 135 game winners, Jagger netted the game's first goal to a record 135 times too. Number 2, Mike Bossy. Right winger Mike Bossy was one of the purest scorers the NHL has ever seen, and it's a shame he retired early due to a back injury. He scored 573 times in his 752 career games, with 80 of those goals being game winners for the New York Islanders and 4 of them being overtime. Bossy led the NHL in game-winning goals in both 1980 to 1981 and 1985 to 1986, when he racked up 10 and 9 of them respectively. This wasn't surprising since he finished in the top 10 for game winners in 8 of his seasons. He also helped get his name engraved on the Stanley Cup 4 times with the Islanders by adding 17 game winners and 3 overtime markers in the playoffs. This ranks Bossy in a 6th place tie for all-time postseason winners. Bossy scored the series-winning goal in the 1981 to 1982 and 1982 to 1983 Stanley Cup Finals to become the only NHL player to ever score back-to-back cup-winning goals. Number 1, Brett Hull. The most famous and controversial goal of Brett Hull's career won the Dallas Stars in the Stanley Cup in 1998 to 1999. Hull scored in triple overtime against Buffalo Sabres Hall of Fame networker Dominic Hasek to win the silverware in 6 games. It was controversial since Hull's skate was in its crease at the time. The NHL was disallowing goals if anyone had a foot in the crease. The goal stood though, and it was just one of Hull's 3 overtime and 24 game-winning goals in the playoffs, which is the all-time NHL record he shares with Wayne Gretzky. The Golden Jets' son wear a pair of Stanley Cups and wasn't too shabby in the regular season either, as he netted 110 game winners to tie Teemu Selanne for 4th place all time. In addition, just 11 players have scored more than Hull's 12 overtime goals in regular season play, and he also added the 12 game tying markers. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any of our videos in the future. Also watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video.